give mileage if you can get like 2 or 3 libraries in a day where it makes it more beneficial for them. And sometimes that's negotiable with some of the entertainers. Sometimes it's not negotiable, but make it negotiable. Talk to them about it. Say, look, we got 3 shows for you. Do you want them? You know, I would do something like that. I also recommend that you check references. These people here I've looked up for you guys. But I have some libraries, and Kitty, you're one of them, so I'm just going to use you. Kitty's from Silvis, Illinois, and we have a librarian from Fort Myron, Illinois, that are friends of mine. But Kitty actually has the police department, and they do this for free for her. Anytime she gets an entertainer and she doesn't know who they are, she has a background check done on them. The police has offered to do that for her library at no charge. So I wouldn't recommend you pay for it, but if you can get it for free from your police department, you don't know the entertainer.
Yeah. And I don't ask details. All I say is I'm having them in, and
Right.
I want my children to feel safe, and are they trustworthy?
Right.
And they do the check for me, and I don't have to have a signed waiver because I'm not going into personal business or anything. I just want my children safe. And when you bring someone in, especially if you're children related, then they're going to think, okay, they're approved,
I think it's a good idea in today's society. I personally know, and they're not friends of mine, but I know 3 entertainers that you would not want, because if you check them out, they would not pass. But they go around. One lives in Iowa, 2 are in Illinois, and you're just not going to want them to come to your library. So it's not a bad idea if you have that available. I always suggest that you check their references, not their websites or the cards that come to you, because they're always, some of the cards that come to you, they look pretty cool, don't they? And some of the websites, when you get on there, they look pretty cool, don't they? Doesn't mean you're going to want them at the library. And again, I know a magician that we belong to the same club. I would never bring to the showcase because you guys would not be happy with him. And so when you check the references, don't call up and say, did you like the person? Use this question here. Would you hire them again? And because they're going to be so nice, they're going to say, yeah, he was okay. But if you say, would you hire him again? Wait for a pause. If there's any pause at all, that should be a red flag to you. If they say, yeah, we can have them back in a minute, that should help you out. But I'd answer that specific question, would you hire them again, if you're looking to check for an entertainer. Our next performer is a schedule switch, and is he here? Oh, perfect. His name, not real familiar with him. Anyway, he's the very last minute. He's actually coming from one gig to another gig.
Well, yeah, actually, normally what I do is I actually work with PhDs on harmonics and other electrical disturbances. But in this case, I'm also not too bad with a piece of rope. So I'm Robin Priestley, and I come certified by the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. When I come out, normally I'll be in uniform, and I'll be covered from the waist up in a wide variety of search and rescue equipment, right up to and including satellite uplinks. Right. So that's what I would normally be wearing.
Robin Presley.
So first of all, you can see all this gear, right? Now, do you need all this fancy schmancy stuff to save someone? No. Okay. So can you all say no fancy schmancy? No fancy schmancy. All right. So what we're going to do? When do you put on your life jackets? When you go swimming. When else? When you go out on a boat. You know when we put on our life jackets? If that's our boat and this is the dock, we put on our life jackets on land. You know why? Because the dock actually has as many accidents as boats do. More people fall off the dock, and when you fall off a dock next to boats, what do you think happens to your head? No, don't worry, the hair doesn't fall off. But if you wear my helmet, it pretty much will come off. But no, what happens is the water is shallow near docks, and people think that because the water is shallow, they're safe. In truth, the water that's shallow is actually more dangerous, because if you fall over, chances are you're going to bang your head. And the last few drownings that we've had in the area that have occurred next to docks have had that exact thing happen. So, did everybody bring their milk jugs? Somebody out there brought their milk jug. All right, well then, come on up. Okay, so what we're going to do, among some other things, we're gonna learn how to take a common jug, a sponge, right, and some string, and turn it into something that can save a life. Have you ever saved a life? Yeah. Okay, now, you're pretty small, right? Do you think you could save somebody big like me? No. Well, I'll tell you what, you can. And here's how. What we do, and this is our throw bag. Now, I've got these 3 throw bags, and they're very expensive, and we can pull cars with them. Are you going to pull a car? No. But might you pull a friend out of an icy pond? Right? Or someone out of the river? All right. All you have to do to use this throw bag, and we'll do this as well, and all you have to do, and I'll just back it up. In fact, you're going to save me. All you have to do is basically take half a step and just lean forward and let go of this when it gets to your eye height. And when you do that, you'll be able to throw a line a great distance. Now, here's the question, and I need a tree. Who's a tree? You just became a tree. Come on up. Okay. Now, you tossed the throw bag to me, and I'm drifting downstream, but you can't pull me back. Now, on dry land, I'm 250 pounds. It says that on my driver's license, so it must be true. And when I'm in the water, depending on the speed of the water, I may in reality weigh 600 pounds. Do you think you could hold 600 pounds? No. So what you do is, and in this case, the tree's going to be back on land. Now, you do not have to pull me back in. All you have to do is hold that line tight. So what you want to do is wrap that line around a tree, a fence post, a car, a rock, almost anything. Now, if you take 2 turns around that, then all you have to do is hold it. And what will happen is, now, you're small and I'm big, and I even weigh more because I'm in the river. Now what will happen is, the current will push me down. And what will happen is, I'll be pushed all the way back to land without you ever having to pull on the line. Right? So now I'm back to land, and I can get out of the water myself. This allows you, even though you're small, to save anyone. Now, go ahead. You can have a seat. And before you do, though, because I know what you're thinking. Oh, that milk jug is just way too big. I couldn't possibly fit a milk jug in my backpack or in my parents' RV or something. So how about here's a smaller one. So go ahead and just let that down. All you have to do is, are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Okay, so hold that in your left hand. Now, normally we'd put a loop in this and you'd wrap it around your left hand, because guess what happens when you're excited? Right? We've seen Coast Guard people do this as well. Right? Here's the lifeline. The whole lifeline. So, hold that in your left hand, and all you're going to do is just take half a step forward so you have the momentum of your body, and just let go when it reaches your eye. Okay? Now, you can throw this line easily 50 feet. Now, how many people think that 50 feet is way too long? Nobody thinks it's too long? Well, okay, well, in truth, it is. You know why? 66%, okay, that's almost 7 out of 10 people drown within 30 feet of shore. 40, and it gets, you want to know the bad news? 65 drown within 10 feet of help. 43%, that's 4 out of 10 kids that fall in the water, drown within 6 feet of help. How big is 6 feet? That's 5 feet, right? That's 6 feet. They're that close. Why do you think, thank you so much, why do you think people drown in water that close to help?
Drowning is silent. Drowning is silent.
Drowning is silent. Not if it were me, I'd be yelling like that. But actually what happens when you first fall into the water, if the water is cold, and we can do a cold water challenge later, but when the water is cold, the very first thing that happens is when you fall into the water, you have the mammalian reflex. All that means is, do you guys live in cold water? No. What do you live in?
Air.
Warm air. Okay, so when you fall into cold water, and this can happen even in summer depending on what water you're in, but when you fall in, the muscles around your chest will compress and they squeeze the air out of your lungs. But what do you do when you're scared? Well, guess what happens when the air comes out of your lungs and your mouth is open and you're falling into water? You get a big gulp of water. Life vests need to be worn all the time because you don't know when you're going to fall over. How many people know when they're going to make a mistake? Now, if you don't clean your room up, right, you know that you're going to be in trouble. Now, the nice thing about it is, you have always been told to be neat, right? Who here was told by their parents to be messy? Okay, me too. So all you do, this is the one time you get to be as messy as you can be. If you want to put the line back in, be as messy and as random as you want, and just toss the line back in. The messier it goes in, the better it comes out. Now, but I don't want to leave you just with saving lives. How many of you have ever been caught without that perfect outfit for a party? All right. Okay, so one of the things that you can do, because line is a great tool. And if you tie a sheep shank, and we can show you that later, but if you can tie a sheep shank, then you have the perfect outfit whenever you need it. Because if you want to be Shrek, you can be Shrek. If what you want to be, let's say, how many people here like bunny rabbits? Okay, so for bunny rabbit, all I need to do is make bigger ears, right? So, now, same costume, and I have line that will actually stand up. But now I have great big ears, and you can make antlers as well. But now, what I want to do is I want to show you how many of you know how to tie a knot. Okay, who among you doesn't know any knots? Oh, there you go, come on. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the king of all knots. Now, as a sailor, okay, as a sailor and as a Coast Guardsman, I know a bunch of knots. In fact, later on, I can even show you the ancient Lithuanian Chinese dragon bowl. Oh, yeah. But, okay, so here's your line. Here's your line. And what we're going to do is we're going to show everybody as we do this. And what you're going to do is you're going to tie a bowline, which is the best knot in the whole world, and I'll tell you why. So, turn your back, everybody. That way you don't have to worry about that at all. Okay. First thing I want you to do is you're a lefty on top. All right, in that case, I'd like you to hold the line over your fingers, and you guys all have lines, so do this as well. Then take your right hand and just make a mirror image. So you've got your thumb down and your fingers touching. Okay. Now just slide this hand down a couple of inches, pinch it, and fold it over. Okay, like this. That's fine. That's fine. Don't get frustrated. Just turn it over. Just have your hands facing, and then just turn it over. Perfect. Okay, so there's. All right. What's your favorite animal? Cats. All right. This is your cat home, and you can tell because his home is on time. All right. So now, all you have to do is take. Now here's your cat. Here's your cat. You can hold that in your right hand. Here's your cat. Now what we're going to do with our cat is our cat's going to come up, out of his home. And he's going to go behind his scratching post. Just go behind the scratching post. Okay. And now go back in the, okay? All right. And now when you tighten this up, all right, you've got the bowl. That's a good clue. Who's a right-handed person that can? So all we did, put our hands like that, bring it down, flip it over. Now we have your home. Come out of the home, in this case the cat, behind the scratching post, and the nice thing is we actually have a rod that actually holds the line up. And now you have your bowline. Now the nice thing about the bowline is that the bowline, it's spelled B-O-W-L-I-N-E, but it's pronounced bowline, and the reason why that's so valuable, are you going to help me out? hole. I've broken my left arm, and no one else can fit in the hole. The wonderful thing about the Bolin, among other things, is that it preserves almost all of the line strength. And here's how I can save myself if I ever get hurt, and you can just hold it, because otherwise
Okay.
I'll
All
keep
right.
backing up. Okay, now you're the helicopter, but you don't want to pick me up yet. So what I'm going to do, I just cross my hand, bring it up. Who do I want to save? Am I trying to save you? No, I'm trying to save me. So bring it down, save me. All right, now look what I've got. Here is my cat's home, just like we had before, and here's my cat. So now, what do I need to do? Go around the scratching post, and then right back in to the hole. Now, the helicopter can pick me up. Now, it's a beautiful knot. If you only ever know one knot in your whole life, the Bolin is the knot to know. And I know I'm running out of time, but let me just say, do you have a brother at home? Or a little sister? Do you need, okay, in this case, we'll change it to whole.
Yes.
Do you need to control your weapon? All right. Okay, so here's a great knot. It's called the Fireman's Rescue Knot, but it's perfect for keeping people who bother you, like your brothers, out of your hair. Okay, all we're going to do, you want to try it?
Okay.
Okay, all we're going to do is we're going to make one loop in front and one loop in back. Right? Everybody make one loop in front, one loop in back. Now all we're going to do is one loop in front, one back. Okay, and then just cross them and pull them through. Perfect, perfect. All right, now we need a little brother. Who's going to be our little brother? You're frowning. You're going to be the little brother. Okay. I'll show you. Okay, turn around. Now, can I have an arm?
I don't know.
And an arm. Now, you can use this for making Christmas packages. Okay. But
about this.
what this does, go ahead and turn around. Okay. What this does is it gives you a way to lift people up out of a hole. But oh, you get to do me. Now, and you can also do the horse and buggy whip, right? But, oh, yeah,
Do you want to break their arms?
a loop and,
You want to break their arms?
no, no. And that's optional, that doesn't have to be.
That's right.
But the nice thing about it is that it's a very safe way to go ahead and secure the unruly child or your bad brother or sister, but it's also a great safety net. So generally what we do is we stress the importance of wearing life vests. I know that you've all grown up in a world where everybody knows to wear their life vest, and yet in the last 9 drownings that we've had recently, no life vests. The duck hunters were just killed in Muscatine. One was killed upon impact with the buoy. The other one was killed for not wearing a life vest. It was a simple drowning. Okay? So life vests are still a golden rule. But learning to use a throw bag and making a throw bag and emphasizing that the youngsters thank you so much. Being able to make a throw bag for 50 cents to $1 will provide the line. It gives the children an opportunity to put one in every car, in every bicycle basket, because typically you never know when you're going to have a problem. And it's just an easy way to help improve the odds of people live to grow old and feeble like me. Thanks so much.